What if your own mind is secretly your worst enemy? Carl Jung's darkest warning isn't just some dusty old theory. It's a chilling wake-up call that says you're wired to self-sabotage, and most of the time, you don't even see it happening. Think about it. How many times have you set a goal, maybe to hit the gym, finish that project, or chase a dream, only to watch yourself trip over your own feet? You're not lazy, you're not dumb, and it's not just bad luck. Jung, the guy who dug deeper into the human psyche than almost anyone, warned that there's something sinister ticking away inside you, quietly pulling the strings. It's like your brain's got a hidden agenda, and it's been screwing you over since day one. In the next few minutes, we're gonna rip the lid off this twisted mystery. Why you keep wrecking your own plans, why you can't seem to break free, and how Jung's forgotten truth might just be the key to turning it all around. Don't even think about clicking away. This could be the one thing that saves your life from spiraling into the same old mess. Picture this. You're about to nail a big moment, a job interview, a date, a personal win, and out of nowhere you freeze. You flake. You make some dumb excuse and let it slip away. Sound familiar? That's not a coincidence. It's your mind playing a sick game. Jung saw it coming a mile away. He didn't mess around with feel-good platitudes. He went straight for the jugular of human nature. His darkest warning says, you're not just fighting the world out there. You're battling a traitor within. It's why you stay up scrolling instead of sleeping, why you dodge compliments like they're punches, why you let fear dress up as logic every single time you're close to breaking through. And the scariest part? You don't even know it's happening. Jung called this the shadow, that murky, messed up corner of your psyche that loves chaos more than you love winning. It's not here to help you. It's here to keep you stuck, small and safe in a way that feels like failure. But here's the kicker. Jung didn't just spot this. He cracked it open. He figured out why your brain's so hell-bent on betraying you, and he left behind a map to fight back. We're talking about the kind of truth that hits you like a freight train and leaves you wondering how you missed it all along. In the minutes ahead, we'll peel back the layers of this psychological trap, why it's wired into you, why it's so damn hard to stop, and what Jung's hidden insight can do to flip the script. This isn't some fluffy self-help rant. It's a raw, unfiltered look at the enemy in your head. Stick with me, because once you see this, there's no going back. You might just dodge the next bullet your mind tries to fire at you. So, let's dive into the creepy reason your brain loves to betray you. Jung said there's a shadow inside you. A dark, twisted part of your mind that doesn't just sit there. It thrives on chaos like it's some kind of sick fuel. This isn't about you being a little disorganized or forgetful. It's way uglier than that. It's why you procrastinate on that big project until the deadline's breathing down your neck. Why you doubt yourself even when you know you're good enough. Or why you ruin perfectly good things, like missing a chance to shine at work or pushing away someone who actually gets you. Jung didn't mess around with soft excuses. He warned this isn't laziness or a bad day. It's your unconscious mind waging a quiet war to keep you small, stuck, and spinning in circles. Ever felt like no matter how hard you try, you're slamming into the same wall over and over? That's not a fluke. That's the shadow at work, pulling levers you didn't even know existed. Think about the last time you had a shot at something great. Maybe it was a promotion, a new habit, or just a moment to feel on top of the world. What did you do? Did you talk yourself out of it? Did you scroll through your phone instead of starting, or tell yourself it's not worth the risk? That's the shadow creeping in, whispering just loud enough to stop you cold. Jung said this thing lives in all of us. It's not some rare curse for the unlucky few. It's a piece of your psyche that's been there since you were a kid, built from every time you learned to play it safe, to avoid the spotlight, to dodge the pain of failing. It's why you'll sit there knowing you should act, knowing you could act, but instead, you freeze. You let the moment slip. And the worst part, it feels so natural you don't even question it. This isn't about willpower running dry or you being too weak to push through. Jung's take was darker. Your unconscious isn't here to cheer you on. It's got its own agenda. It's like a guard dog trained to keep you in a cage, not because it hates you, but because it thinks that's where you're safest. Every time you try to step up, it barks. Doubt, fear, excuses, and you back off without even realizing you're obeying. Ever wonder why you can't stick to a workout plan, why you ghost opportunities, or why you sabotage a good relationship right when it's getting real? That's the shadow flexing its grip, thriving on the mess it makes. It's not random, it's deliberate, and Jung saw it as a force that shapes your whole life if you let it. But why does this shadow hate your success? Jung's got a chilling answer. Jung's darkest warning isn't some vague hunch. It's a gut punch straight from the depths of your psyche. Your shadow doesn't just hide in the corners of your mind. It controls you like a puppet master pulling strings you didn't even know were there. It's why you're doom scrolling Instagram instead of finishing that work email that's been glaring at you for days. It's why you ghost someone you actually like, letting a text sit unanswered until the chance is dead. Jung didn't sugarcoat it. This isn't random chaos or a quirky habit. It's a survival trick baked into you from childhood. Back then, staying safe meant staying invisible, blending into the background so you didn't get hurt or called out. But now, that same instinct is screwing you over, turning your life into a battlefield where you're the enemy. Think about the last time your boss tossed you a compliment. Did you shrug it off, mumble something awkward, or secretly feel like a fraud? That's the shadow flexing its muscle, dodging praise like it's a trap. Or what about that dream you've got? The book you want to write? The business you'd kill to start? How many times have you ditched it before even trying, convincing yourself it's too big, too risky, or just not for you? Jung said this is the shadow winning, and it wins every time you don't see it coming. It's not here to help you grow. It's here to keep you locked in a cage you built years ago, one you've gotten so used to you don't even notice the bars anymore. Most people, Jung warned, never do. They live their whole lives letting this dark piece run the show, tripping over themselves without a clue why. Today, it's everywhere. It's why you binge Netflix instead of hitting the gym, even though you swore this was the week you'd start. It's why you flake on plans with friends who push you to be better, hiding behind some lame excuse like, I'm too tired. Jung's point was brutal. Your shadow isn't passive, it's active, thriving on keeping you small, safe, and stuck in the muck of your own making. It's that voice whispering not yet when you're about to leap, or you'll fail. When you're close to winning. It's why you avoid the mirror, literal or not, because deep down you know something's off, but facing it feels too damn heavy. And the kicker? Jung said this isn't a glitch, it's a feature, wired into you from the start to protect you, but now it's a prison guard holding you back. So how do you fight back? Jung left us a way out. Let's break it down. Jung didn't just warn us about the shadow, he threw us a lifeline to beat it. He wasn't here to scare you into a corner. He showed us how to win against that dark part of your mind that's been holding you back. Step 1. Face it head on. Grab a pen and write down one way you sabotage yourself. Like skipping workouts even though you swore you'd start, or dodging that email you know could change your career. Don't overthink it. Just get it on paper. It's like shining a flashlight into the creepy basement of your brain. Jung said you can't fight what you can't see, and this is where you start spotting the enemy. It's not about feeling bad, it's about owning the mess so you can fix it. Step 2. Talk to it. Yeah, it sounds nuts, but Jung swore this was gold. Ask your shadow why it's so damn scared. Sit there with that list and think, why do I skip the gym? Is it fear of failing, looking dumb, or just not wanting to feel the burn? Maybe you dodge that email because deep down, success feels too big to handle. Jung called this dialoguing with the shadow, giving it a voice so it stops sneaking around. You're not begging or bargaining, you're staring it down, asking, what's your deal? It's weird at first, but he said this cracks open the why behind your self-sabotage. Like realizing you're not lazy, you're just terrified of stepping up. And once you know the why, you've got leverage. Step 3. Act anyway. Jung didn't care about your feelings, he cared about results. Start small, stupidly small if you have to. Like doing 5 push-ups when you'd usually skip the whole workout, or writing 1 sentence of that email instead of pretending it doesn't exist. The shadow hates action, it thrives on you stalling. So, move. Build from there. 5 push-ups today, 10 tomorrow, 20 next week. 1 sentence becomes a paragraph, then a sent email. Jung said this isn't about perfection, it's about momentum. Do this for 30 days straight, and he promised you'd shock yourself with what you become. Not some flawless superhero, but a version of you that's tougher, sharper, and finally in the driver's seat. It's not magic, it's you outsmarting the chaos inside. This isn't fluffy self-help, it's Jung's raw, practical playbook to take back control. You're not just facing the shadow, you're turning it into fuel. That skipping workouts thing? It's not a flaw, it's a clue. That email you avoid? It's your ticket out. Keep at it, and in a month you'll look back and wonder why you ever let that dark part run the show. Ready to flip the script? Here's why this matters more than you think. So Jung's darkest warning comes down to this: you're your own worst enemy. Until you step up and face that shadow head on. It's not some spooky ghost story. It's the raw truth about why you keep screwing yourself over, day after day. Why can't you stop self-sabotaging? Because it's wired into you, deep in your bones, like a glitch you didn't ask for but can't ignore. It's that nagging pull to skip the gym, to ghost that big opportunity, to let doubt choke out your dreams before they even breathe. But here's the game changer. You're not helpless anymore. You've got the tools now. Face it, talk to it, act anyway. And that's your ticket to breaking free from the mess your mind's been cooking up. Jung didn't just point out the problem. He handed you the keys to flip the whole damn script. Think about it. Every time you've tripped yourself up, that shadow was laughing in the background. But now, you're onto it. You've seen how it tricks you into staying small, procrastinating when you should be pushing, doubting when you should be daring. This isn't just a theory, it's a wake-up call that hits harder the longer you sit with it. So, what's your move? What's your biggest sabotage move? The one thing you do that keeps you stuck? Maybe it's bailing on plans, overthinking until you're paralyzed, or letting fear wear a mask of realism. Drop it in the comments below. I'm reading every single one, and I'll reply to you. Seriously, let's unpack this together, because you're not alone in this fight. If Jung's truth slammed into you like a ton of bricks, if it made you nod, squirm, or even curse under your breath, smash that like button right now. Let me know this hit you hard, because that's what fuels more of this. You're not just watching a video, you're stepping into something bigger, a chance to outsmart the chaos inside you. And if you're ready for more, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We're cracking open mind blowers like this every single week. Stuff that digs into your psyche, shakes you up, and hands you the tools to win. Jung's shadow is just the start. There's a whole lineup of raw truths coming your way, from Stoic hacks to Nietzsche's power plays. Don't sleep on this. Stick around, because you've only scratched the surface of what's possible once you take the reins. This isn't the end. It's where you decide to stop letting that shadow call the shots.